Yo, what's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jarvis here. You are with me on my IG, my FB. Hey, IG, FB, YouTube, and let me throw this out here: the Wisdom app. I did not connect into didn't connect into over on what am I thinking? Uh, LinkedIn tonight. And the only reason I didn't connect it on LinkedIn tonight is because I wasn't quite sure if tonight's conversation was a LinkedIn conversation. It's actually one of those things where I wanted to take an opportunity to just kind of hit on some stuff. What's up, Cole in the building? Cole 007 in the building. Yeah, I just wanted to just kind of hit on life. Like tonight's topic is let's talk love and life. Let's have a good conversation. I want you guys to be involved in the conversation. Of course, sometimes my topics can change based off of conversations I've had throughout the day, things that I've experienced. Actually, I'm trying to check out my new little man bun back there. Hey, man, listen. When you try new stuff, you gotta go all the way out, I guess. So, but hey, listen. The another thing is it was kind of spawned by some conversations I had today, but also there is a really good friend of mine, somebody who I love like a brother. We haven't seen each other in years, at least about 10, 15 years. But he just released a new song this February, and it's called the I Love You song. And it's a powerful song. It's a dope song. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start us off with that song. And so let me go ahead and I want to share that. And when I share that, that's going to be how we kind of kick it off. I'm going to start off with that song, and then we can just talk about whatever we want to talk about tonight. Life. I want to hit on mentorship a little bit. Not just mentorship. I also want to tell you a little bit more about the book, because I'm going to do a campaign to sell. I want to try to sell 100 books, right? 100 of these books, 100 of the stories of triumphant Black male leaders and how we overcame fear. Something that's going to be powerful and impactful to your life. So with everything that I just said, I do want to go ahead and let me go ahead. And if you want to join in the conversation, please, by all means, join the conversation. So because I look forward to having people in. What's up to Coach? I am coaching in the building. What's happening with you, my guys? Good to see you, big dog. So what I'm going to do right now, let me go ahead and I want to make sure that I put the link to if you want to join in the conversation, if you're on YouTube and Instagram. All right. YouTube and Facebook, you can join through the link that I just sent. If you are on Instagram, all you got to do is hit that beautiful little camera and you can join in. If you're on the Wisdom app, all you have to do is request to join and I'll bring you in. But like I said, I want to start us with this song. So let me go ahead and pull this song up. I am going to share. Sorry, I had to. All right. And what I want to do is I want to share the tab, and I want to share the tab's audio. Yes, I do. So I'm sharing this. And what's up, Bree? I see you jumped in the building. So I'm going to share this with us. And those of you who are on Wisdom and you are on Instagram, you'll be able to hear the song, but you won't be able to see the video. It is a video by Lee Taylor, and the song is called the I Love You song. This is the official music video. So watch this and let's chop it up.
Look into my eyes. I hope you realize that me you got to find. Am I enough for you? Right now the time is right. I want to get this right. And if I see you true, I know I'm in love with you. Speak to me. Oh, set me free. You should know you're all I need. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Yeah. I love you. I will be you. Hey, you should know that I love you. time waiting to find love. I am empty now, I'm true. I want it with you. You love me. I love you. There's no wall I can't break through. I love you. 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 I really love you. Hey, you should know that I won't let go. I won't make no mistake. Yeah, my love is elusive. I love you. 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 I really do. Baby, just the fact of you can fully see in my heart. I still believe we live from the start. If you trust me, I'll make you this out. My love will build you up and never tear down. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I really do.
Yo, that was the I Love You song by none other than Lee Taylor. The song is dope. I'm just like, I heard the song and it just hit a chord with me. So now that you guys have heard the song, what up, Bree? I see you out here in the building. Like, tell me, like, what are you like some perspective on love? Like, what did you take from the song? I know that some of you guys couldn't see the video, but if you like the song, throw some hearts up there. If you didn't like the song, throw some thumbs down on there. You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is. We have wonderful people that are out here in this world that are trying to they're creators, man. We have some amazing creators out here. And one of those amazing creators is Lee Taylor. So you want to check out that music. But I watched the video and it just really hit my heart. And actually, I ended up watching the video after I had a great conversation with my sister, after, you know, text messages going around and, you know, thinking about the conversations that I had today throughout the day. And everything that we talked about today, everything that I experienced today, I started off, and my topic tonight was really going to be about being a leader. So it was going to talk about, you know, so you were pushed into leadership, and now how do you become the leader? That's what I was going to talk about. And in the conversations I had today, everything started spinning more around mentoring. And then not only did it spin around mentoring, it stirred into the way that people see you when they look to you as their mentor, when they look to you as their leader, when they look to you as a guide or somebody that they just look up to. And then it spun from that into, you know, the dynamics of our families. And then it went from that, from not just being the dynamics of our families, but then being the dynamics of relationships. And then I started looking at not just the dynamics of relationships, but the emotional ups and downs that we may go throughout our day, and what causes us to go up and what causes us to go down. And then how do you bounce back if you run into a difficult place? I even had a conversation today around religion versus relationship. So all of these things sparked me wanting to come on here and just have a great conversation with everybody. And I want you to definitely feel free to get involved in the conversation. Please feel free to get involved in the conversation. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel. You know, one of the things that I realize is, as leaders and mentors, parents, you fall into this category. When you make a mistake, sometimes the world around you doesn't realize that you're still human. And what I mean by that is, as leaders, whenever we have a leader who makes a mistake, a leader who makes a misstep, all of a sudden it's like all eyes are on them, fingers are pointing at them. I knew this, I knew that, and you know, and people just kind of, they tear them down. They forget that they are human beings and they experience life just like the rest of us. They sleep just like everybody else. They eat just like everybody else, but they go through things just like everybody else as well. And when we see leaders that have challenging times, or we see leaders who are going through difficult times, as people who follow these leaders, as people who look up to these mentors, as people who have these people who they've created this image on, remember that no matter what the expectation is that you have of them, they have a higher expectation of themselves, and that's how they've been positioned in a place as a leader. So when they have a misstep, a mistake, a mishap, whatever you want to call it, something comes up, they make a bad decision, they do something wrong. Whenever these things happen in their life, they're experiencing life. The bounce back is not going to be as quick as you want the bounce back to be. They have their own journey that they have to go on. I have people that I've been communicating with, that I've done coaching with, that they've been going through a loss. And the thing that I say to them is, like, as you're going through this loss, there's not a timeline on how quickly you need to bounce back, but there's also not a timeline on how long you should stay in the place where it's dark. Like I talked about that the other day, not letting people stay in dark spaces. And so the challenge that we have is like looking at these leaders and understanding not only are they human, but then knowing that they experience emotions. See, we had this long series, 21 parts of emotion, all about emotions. So I'm not going to talk too long about emotions, but I do want to give you this point about emotions and help you understand the emotional intelligence piece of it. So with the emotions that we have as human beings, emotions and feelings. So emotions are what happen on the, what our brain kicks into gear. Like that's what takes place. Boom, there's this emotion. An emotion, it causes you to emote things out. Your feelings are an outward manifestation of what you have emoted on the inside. That's the easiest and simplest way that I can tell it to you. And I've been thinking about that, like how to help people understand, because your feelings are what, this is a feeling. I'm tapping my hand. That's a feeling. If this is cold that I'm touching, that's a feeling. If it's cold outside, I feel that. That's a feeling. It's a part of our five senses. Our five senses have nothing to do with our interior processes, other than there's signals from our brain that get sent from these outer layers of us to different parts of our body to say this is what's happening. Now, when I'm looking at the emotional side of it, and the emotions and feelings being the outward manifestation of your emotions, that's why you have people who, when they're driving, they show road rage. There is something that happened, triggered on the inside, and now they're yelling at somebody outwardly. Or in relationships, that's why people bump heads in relationships, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friend relationship. All of these things, they play together in a sense of, hey, here it is. I'm going through this. I'm dealing with this. I'm feeling this, and what I'm feeling and what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with, this is how I choose to express myself. So your feelings are the outward manifestation of the expression of what your emotions are saying on the inside of you. And I wanted to talk about love and life because it really takes individuals who love to understand how to navigate through life. Does that make sense to y'all? It does, because I see the hearts going up. It really takes individuals who know how to love in order to know how to navigate in life. Most leaders carry a level of love that is it's far above where the average person is, and you have to, in order to be a good leader, not just a good leader, but a great leader. Okay, and the reason I say that is because with leaders, we have to take on the people. You have to take on the thought processes of many different people. You have to take on the emotions of many different people. You have to take on the ideals, the idiosyncrasies of a lot of different people, and you have to be willing to say, "Hey, I accept that. I take that. This is where we're going with it." And in that, leaders have to figure out a way to balance. You see how I got this little tea table that I set with my hands. They got to figure out how to balance on something as narrow as this. On this part of the balancing beam, you have family, friends, love, vacation. You have personal business ideas, thoughts and plans of what your future is going to be. You have conversations, networking conversations. You have just relaxed time, self time. You have all of these things on that one platform, where this piece right here to a leader is what you get to stand on. You're hoping that your support is strong enough to hold you. Now I'm holding my hand sideways, or like on a T like this unintentionally. Now the average person who's walking around life, their table is the same, but when they're not in positions of leadership, it's a lot sturdier. You see how I put my hand in there, and what's up, Jupe? How you doing, Perrin? What's up? So you see how I put that stability in there. Standing on this, it's not hard to balance it. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of tables that are out here in the world that have just a centerpiece like this, and it stays up. A matter of fact, I just helped somebody move a marble table the other day, and it had a square base that was just like this, and the tabletop was twice as big, 3 times as big as the bottom. Now, that balance piece is easier when you're not in positions of leadership because you don't have to worry about all of those different things that a leader has to worry about. It's easier to love and kind of like brush things off when you're standing in a stability point like this. And for those people who are listening to me on the Wisdom app, what I did is I made a T table, like I made a T with my hands, where I have my hand facing sideways, and then I have my left hand across the top of my right hand, and it's in the shape of a T, like I'm calling timeout in a basketball game. And then when I talked about, the average person, what it looks like when they're not in leadership, I made a fist with my lower hand, and then I sat my top hand on top of that fist, showing the difference in the stability. Now, the reason I want to do that, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a pen, and I'll take this book. So this is what it looks like for a leader. I have a pen underneath the bottom of a book. It's kind of wobbly, right? Because everywhere a leader goes, they're responsible for the decisions that they're going to make. If it's love, they're responsible for the decision that they make. If it's life, they're responsible for the decision that they make. If it's a business idea, they're responsible for the decision that they make. If it's a banking situation, they're responsible for the decision that they make. If they're leading a team, they're responsible for the decision that they make. All of these things equate to the responsibility of decisions that they make. Now, what I'm going to do to go ahead and show you this for the everyday average person is I'm going to take and I'm going to put another base. I'm going to take a tape dispenser, put it underneath. Now you see the balance that's there for the person who's not in leadership. The balance that's there for the person that's not in leadership, they can make some decisions, and there's not really a lot of risk to the decisions that they make. Not to say that they don't have to make risky decisions, because they're going to have to make some risky decisions and take some risk in order to move forward. But I am saying that there's a little bit more of a balanced and level plane for them, because they can run to the top of this, and it's not really nothing's gonna fall off. They can run to the backside, nothing's gonna fall. No matter where they go in their platform of life, there's not much that they have to lose. Where when you're a leader, let me get my pen back. Matter of fact, let me get a sturdier pen. When you're a leader, and now I got a Sharpie, a thick Sharpie too. You got to find the right point to be able to balance. It's all about finding balance. And when you find balance, it's all about keeping the balance. And the keeping of the balance comes in the consistency of what you do day to day, whether that's going to work out, whether that is going to, making phone calls, whether it's reading, whether it's eating right, writing books, writing out a plan, reaching out to people, whatever the case is, you have to find that balance. You have to find the balance in your love life. You have to find the balance in your family life. You have to find the balance with the people that you mentor. You have to find the balance with the people that you're mentoring that you have no idea that you're mentoring. All of these things need a level of balance, right? Every single one. And for those of you who are on the Wisdom app, what I did is I took a Sharpie and I have the book balanced on top of this Sharpie now. But people who are watching me and you see that it's still a little wobbly, but I found a way to get that balance. Okay. Now, I wanted to show you that because I wanted to demonstrate the difference between the stress levels of a person who is in leadership versus a person who's not necessarily in leadership and they're just kind of like they're following others. There's a high level of stress. There's levels of sacrifice that you have to make. There's things that you can share with certain people, but there's things that you can't share with everybody. And I know there's people like, well, we just want to know your authentic truth. We just want to know, do you realize that if I came on here and I told you every single thought that I had, right? Every single thought. If I came on here and I said every single thought that I had, you would not look at me the same way. That's where wisdom kicks in. I may have political views that totally disagree with your political views. And I've learned through wisdom, and I'm not talking about the app, I've learned through wisdom that some of my thoughts need to just stay in my head because I could be very wrong in those thoughts. It does not mean that I'm not afraid to open my mouth and communicate. When it comes to listening to people, because as a coach, life coach, success coach, executive coach, business coach, health coach, when you're talking to people, you're bringing in a lot of information. You're taking in a lot of information, and you cannot deflect your personal feelings of whatever you're dealing with in the day, your personal emotions of whatever you have going on in life to fire off at those individuals. However, you will find in those situations that those individuals are firing off on you. Okay. And these are things that happen in levels of leadership. Now, all of us are leaders at some point in some area in our life. That's why I didn't change what the platform looked like. I just changed what the base looked like. The higher up in leadership you go, the narrower your platform is. We like to think that there's a lot of stability, but the higher up you go, your level of influence goes up. And all it takes, and we see it all the time on social media, is for one thing to go wrong. And when that one thing goes wrong, it knocks you off your rocker, right? It absolutely knocks you off your rocker. Now you have fallen into the court of public opinion. You have everybody on your social media feed saying what they're going to say. You have people that are in your DMs saying what they're going to say. You have people around you who are showing their disgust and their disappointment. It's so crazy. I found this as leaders. And this is, again, when I'm talking about life and love as leaders, what happens in our lives is that we always find a way to see a person for what's inside their heart versus judging them based on the decisions that they've made outwardly. We always find a way to show levels of forgiveness at higher levels than individuals who are not in those leadership positions. I don't know how it happens. I just know that it happens. We always find a way to win and help other people win in those areas. And I'm telling you this because each and every one of us are leaders. We're just leaders at different levels. Leadership simply is broken down as into the level of influence that you have over others, to be able to carry others forward, push others back, shut others down. The greatest leadership examples that I can think of right now that I can tell you right off the top of my head is Martin Luther King and Adolf Hitler. Two extremely strong leaders, but they had two very extremely different viewpoints, and they led people in two very different ways. One was extremely compassionate, and the other one had a very dictatorship type of mentality. One loved, and the other hated. So it's crazy, but it's real. Two examples of what leadership can do. Leadership can go up or it can go down. And in talking about life and talking about love, what I want everybody to know is that each and every one of you, as you are leaders in your life, there are people who are looking up to you. There are people who are depending on you. There are people who are watching you that you have no idea that they're watching you. The way that you respond, the way that you carry yourself, all of these things matter. I was having a conversation with my sister, and she was just sharing some things with me as her big brother. And listening to her share the things with me as her big brother, I'm taking these things in and I'm just processing what she's saying. And the good thing about my sister, and I've always known this to be about my sister, is that she has been somebody who, when we talk, she's going to be raw and uncut. Forget hot, honest, open, transparent. It is like on another level, raw and uncut. And in her raw and uncut, there were things that she said that I agreed with, and there were things that she said that I didn't agree with. However, no matter what the case was, what I do know is that I love her and she loves me, and everything that we talked about was an exchange of love. And that exchange of love allowed us to be able to sit and have a conversation, to be able to hear where she was at, what she was dealing with, what she was going through, what she thought about things that I may have said or done in the past, what she thought about things that I may have said or done recently, what she thinks about what my ideas of something in the future. Like, I don't expect her to always agree with my idea. I don't expect her to always follow what it is that I want her to do, just like she doesn't for me. And she's a very strong and outspoken individual. And I'm so proud of her because she's gaining her voice. She's always had a voice, but now there's a level of her having her voice that is just like, she's kicked it up to another notch. But even in that, I thought about conversations that I've had with my mother. I've thought about conversations that I've had with my grandparents. I've thought about conversations that I've had with cousins, and I've thought about even the conversations that I had with some of the fellas that I hit up today just to check on them and see how they were doing. There's a lot of pressure that's added to the word leader, and there's so many people that want to run out here and they automatically want to jump out and they want to take on the responsibility. I'm sorry, not the responsibility. Let me clear this up. They want to take on the title of leader, but they're not ready for the levels of responsibility that come along with leader. Hopefully that makes sense to you. One thing that one of my mentors used to say all the time is, he's like, man, people see my glory, but they don't know my story. And if they had to live my story, they wouldn't want the glory. They would be like, forget what you heard. I don't care nothing about all that glory stuff if I got to go through this. And I will tell you guys, I understood it then and I understand it more now. There are so many times when I'm in conversations with individuals or people will hit me up on social media, and you can see something on social media, and when you see it on social media, it's like real, I can make it look real sweet and real pretty on social media, but you got to remember I can doctor that up to make it look a certain way. Like I will never jump on here. Okay, let me take that back. I can't say never. I have not ever jumped on here and been in a broken state. Not to where you could physically see it, not to where you could see my emotions. Like I have not done that. No matter what's going on outside of me jumping on here on these lives and taking the opportunity to empower and uplift and build each and every one of you. And that's something that I encourage you to do in your lives. There's not you like people utilize social media as this place to just air it all out. It's not the place to argue. Like I had a conversation with a woman earlier, and she was 38 hot about something that happened 2 years ago. And then this something that happened 2 years ago, she was ready to say something about it today, to tell somebody else about themselves. And I was like, that is not the way to handle that. Absolutely not. Because what happened 2 years ago was 2 years ago. If it happened 6 months ago, it was 6 months ago. I'm challenging people to operate in what's happening now. What can you control now? If you're noticing something that was 2 years ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever, it does it. If you address it, if you dive in on it, if you fire off on it, is that going to affect what's happening right now? That's the question that I challenge people to ask themselves. But I'm bringing that up because I'm talking about how people just want to jump in and air things out on social media, and that's not the way to handle things. That's not the way to carry things. If you call yourself a human being, which every single person that's listening to me should call themselves a human being, then I recommend to you that when you find yourself in tough situations and you find yourself dealing with thoughts and you're trying to figure things out, there's three things that I would say that you absolutely need. One is you need a relationship with God. Pray and ask God for clarity. The second thing is you need to either talk directly to the source and ask questions and talk, or talk to somebody who is a trusted advisor, not somebody who's dealing with a bunch of bull. I'm just going to be honest with you. Because if you go talk to somebody who's dealing with a bunch of bull, they're going to give you all their bull. Like real talk. And you know who those people are. So you have to go to those trusted advisors, those people that are going to be objective with you. And then the third thing that I would challenge you to do is just take time to process. Take time to process. But if you're processing and you're processing a situation that has to do with your husband, that has to do with your wife, that has to do with your boyfriend, has to do with your girlfriend, somebody who you say that you love immensely, then I recommend that you never process without them around. Because if you're processing and they're nowhere to be found, then you're going to linger on all of the negativity. But if you process and they're in the next room, if you process and they're outside, you're going to process and there's still the thought that you're going to have about them, that they're there. Now, it'll help you clarify some of your thoughts. If you process and they're in the next room and you come out with a conclusion, then you know that, okay, that's my conclusion. But if you process and they're nowhere to be found, then now you're just kind of coming up with something on your own, and that's just my thought process on it. I don't want to say that that's the exact, science to how you should handle this thing, but I'm just throwing it out there. Also in talking about life, man, and I like I said, I listened to Lee Taylor's song and then I watched the video, and actually he sent me something, and I hate that I missed the message. I haven't been checking my messenger as often as possible, but he sent me something. He said, hey, share this if you can. And by the time I saw it, it's too late to share it. So now I'm sharing it on here. But the I love you song, those three words are so powerful. They are. I love you is it's such a powerful phrase. And I hate when I see people just say it just to say it, and they utilize it as a manipulation tool, because you're tainting the very thing that brings us joy, that brings us life, that brings us to the next level. Every night before I get off of these lives, I say, hey, I love you. This is your boy Jarvis, and I'm out. That's what I say. Now, I'm not getting off right now, but that's what I say. And I say that because I mean it. I don't have to know you to let you know that I love you, because there's a thing called unconditional love. I love you enough to want to get on live as often as I've been doing the 90-day challenge. So I love you enough to say, hey, you know what? I need to be on here every single night. I committed. I told them up front I was going to do this for the next 90 days. Now I got 10 more days in this 90-day challenge, and I'm going to let you guys decide, how often I should come on with the lives. I mean, and you can DM me, you can text it, you can put it in the chat right now if you want to. But how often would you like to see? What frequency would you like? Would you like it once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week? I'm not going to commit to doing it every single day, because what I did do in this time that I've been doing it every single day is I personally have sacrificed other things to make sure that I'm here between 9:30, 10 o'clock, sometimes 11 o'clock. Even at the Impact Rally, it was later in the day. But that's a whole master class that's coming after this to teach you how to stay consistent and how that will affect you in your business and your personal health and your personal wealth, and take your life to the next level. Because I have seen a strong change, and I want to make sure I share that with each other. I can't get the secret sauce. Now I got Bree over here. She said every single day. Bree, you need to be in my coaching program. So you can talk to me as often as possible. But Bree is also a part of the Impact community, so she definitely does have an opportunity and an ability to reach out to me whenever she needs to. And for those of you who don't know about the Impact community, go ahead and text Impact. You want to text Impact to 386-200-1394. That'll put you inside the Impact community. And in that Impact community, it'll give you the opportunity not to just be able to connect with me whenever you want to, but also there's a lot of great things that come as being a part of the Impact community. And you got to be a part of it to find out. So, hey, there you have it. But in listening to the song, I Love You, and as what he was saying as it was playing, and just the way that I felt hearing it, like that was genuine, that was real, and I want to see that for everybody, and there's times where we as individuals, we have so much going on. And thank you, Bree says she wants every single day, but she'll settle for 3 times a week. So I take that into strong consideration, Bree. I take that into strong consideration. But I want us all to know, and I talked about this on the day after Valentine's Day. Love is not gone. Love is real. Love is here. Love is every single day. And as leaders, as individuals, as parents, as boyfriends, as girlfriends, as husbands, as wives, as daughters, as sons, as aunts, as uncles, as grandparents, right? I can go down the list and say everything, every single thing. As pet owners, there is a level of love that each and every one of us have to carry in order for each and every one of us to be able to see and experience the success that we want out of life. There's nobody who wakes up and goes into work that does not want to be accepted when they walk into their workspace. Not one person. And if you're working from home, I'll say it like this: there's nobody that jumps on a call or a Zoom call or a Google call or a WebEx call, whatever it is that your company uses to be able to have meetings so that you can actually see each other, where you don't want to feel like you're a part of the team. Nobody wakes up and says, I don't want to be accepted today. Nobody does. We all wake up with a thought that it's a new day and we have a new opportunity to go at life. And whether or not there's things that are already taking place that are weighing us down, hey, each and every one of us have our own burdens that we carry, that we run with, that are there, and challenges on a day-to-day basis. And each and every one of us are going to handle those things differently. Like, I know for me, there's certain things that I'll handle head on. I'll run right at it. But then there's other things that, as I look at I manage my priorities in life, and I manage my priorities in life, honestly, very similar to how Abraham Maslow broke down the hierarchy of need. I start with my basic needs, and then I move into, like, am I safe? Do I have safety and security? Do I have a roof over my head? Is there food for me to eat? Like, what's coming up that I need to take care of? Like, these are things that run through my mind, and I will start to prioritize things in like fashion. And it's not always the best way to do it. It's just the way that I've learned and I've chosen to do it. Now, if I'm prioritizing things in the wrong order, if I'm managing those priorities and I'm putting them in the wrong order, when it's brought to my attention, because I can get dialed into what I'm doing. When it's brought to my attention, I will do what's necessary to change the prioritization hierarchy in my own personal life. Nobody has ever asked me to prioritize them over my basic needs, the bottom of the chart, my ability to feel safe, my ability to have food, my ability to have a roof over my head, my ability, like nobody has ever asked me to prioritize those things over them. Nobody has ever asked me to prioritize my security over them. And it's nobody's ever asked me to prioritize my love and belonging over them. Nobody's ever asked me to prioritize my self-esteem, whether I feel good or feel bad, over them. Now, they may have done it inadvertently, not knowing that they were doing it, and people do that from time to time. And I know that some of y'all, I can feel you thinking it, like, well, I know I was in this conversation, and they didn't care nothing about me. Listen, you guys, I'm going to tell you the real deal, honest to God's truth about every single human being in this world. You ready? You ready? Everybody got boogers. Yep, everybody. Okay, I'm joking. That's not what I wanted to say, but I did want to lighten it up just a little bit. So what I do want to tell you, though, is that the real deal, honest to God truth about every single individual in this world is that every single person is born selfish. And I'm going to cross my arms on that. Yeah, every single person is born selfish. You don't believe me? Have you been around babies? If you're not giving them the attention that they want, they scream, they holler, they whine. Have you been around toddlers? You can be in a conversation, on the phone, in a work meeting. If they're there, they're going to come climb up in your arms, climb around your neck, call your name, tug on your leg. Are we in there yet? If you have elementary age kids, if you've been around them, then you can tell them, hey, and you have to remind them, hey, I'm on a call right now. Hey, we're in a conversation right now. Why? Because they're not concerned with your conversation. They're concerned with what it is that they want and what it is that they need. If you've been around middle school age kids, the same thing. If you get around high school kids, you think that they would get it by then, that it would be done and said, like it's said and done. Like no more asking me, no more cutting me off, no more. No, they are more concerned with how am I going to get to the movies as opposed to, oh, mom's on the phone call. They will come and interrupt you. They want to know what you can do for them, right? That doesn't go away when we get out into the real world. That seems to, for some odd reason, amplify itself. And you really feel it when you are in positions of leadership. Because when you're in positions of leadership, everybody's depending on you. So it doesn't matter what you got going on in your life. I need answers. I need this. I need that. And I know that I'm talking to the right group of people because I know that there are those of you out there, and I've seen some of the names that have popped up over on IG. So I know that you have teams of people where you can have a whole, matter of fact, you take a vacation. How many of you guys ever had this happen? You take a vacation and then all of a sudden somebody that works for you, reports to you, or works with you sends you an email, a text message, or calls you about something that's work related. And they try to play it off like this. It's kind of one of those, hello. Hey, I hope you're enjoying your vacation. I'm so sorry to bother you. I got this email that came across and I got a call from, and I need you to, and you feel me? I'm just being real with you. So all of those things that should let you know that people are selfish by nature. They care about what's happening to them. And when you are in positions of leadership, and as we are going through life, and every single one of you guys have a level of leadership somewhere in your life, as you're dealing with love, as you're dealing with life, the love that I want you to tap into tonight is I want you to tap into that unconditional love. Because with unconditional love, it'll allow you to be a selfless individual instead of a selfish individual. Selfish individuals only think about themselves. They only do what's going to be good for themselves. They only do what's going to be good for me, myself, and I. 3 people, 1 individual. That's what they do. Selfless individuals are going to be more understanding. They're going to listen more. They're going to try to like be empathetic to what it is that you're going through, but then help you get to the other side. They're not going to talk about you behind your back because they feel like if they're talking about you behind their back, behind your back, then they're running you down and they're devaluing who you are to the rest of the world. Even if that circle of the rest of the world is small, they're going to cover you. They're going to create environments where it's okay for you to communicate. They're not going to pressure you, but they're going to keep the pressure applied. There's a difference. Pressuring you means that they want to get something from you because they need the answer. But when they keep the pressure applied, it's saying, hey, listen, I know that you're dealing with something. I just want you to know I'm here. And when you're ready to talk, I got you. I've had multiple conversations in the past 3 to 4 days where I have heard leaders say things like they're cowering down, that they're hiding themselves, that they're closing themselves off, like that they're shutting things down, that they're ending certain things, that they're not going to respond to certain things. I've had these conversations with multiple people, multiple, and as I'm listening to them, I'm thinking like, yo, man, life is happening for this individual, and the rest of the world is going forward and not even paying attention. So I want to challenge each and every one of you to start paying attention. Pay attention, y'all. Pay attention. Please pay attention. Paying attention will keep a person off the ledge. Paying attention will let you know when somebody needs to be embraced. And if you're in a work environment and you can't, like if you're just not comfortable with the hug, put your hand out for a handshake. And I mean like shake their hand in a sense that when you grab their hand, you don't squeeze their hand, but you politely, softly hold their hand, and then you turn your hand to the bottom, and then you put your other hand on top and say, man, everything's gonna be all right. That's just as good as a hug. It'll get the endorphins firing and going in the right space. It'll get their mind clicking and going in the right area to say, hey, this person's got my back. They got me. It's okay to give them the pat on the shoulder. We got you. We're with you. Showing signs of support. That's what's needed. And that's why I said, let's talk life and love. That's what's needed right now. That's what's needed out here in the world. We're coming out of, what has been like the toughest 2 years that we've had as long as I've been alive, at least. I can't speak for those who experienced World War I or World War II. I can't speak for those who went through slavery or who went through the Civil War. I can't speak for any of those people. I know that right now it's the toughest time that I've ever gone through. No more will I complain about the inconsistencies of the world, because there are people who fought and struggled and bled and toiled for me to be able to be here and have a voice on a platform where I can speak to you. As I push to try to reach more and more into more corporate spaces, more executive spaces, there was a time where I just didn't feel like I was qualified. I didn't. I mean that you've probably heard that from many speakers where we talk about how we didn't feel like we had the right voice for those people. But then I realized, doggone it, yes, I do. I'm more than qualified. There are things that I have that they need. I look at the curriculums that I put together. I look at customer service curriculums. I look at leadership development curriculums. And I look at, I stop looking at a person's financial status. I stop looking at their scholastic status. I stop looking at their socioeconomic status. I stopped looking at their psychological status, their physical status. Like there's those certain things that you got to stop looking at, because if you look and you're comparing yourself, then you're not doing yourself any justice. Now, I got to tell you, I am a competitive individual when it comes to competition, and I'm a smooth competitive individual. I'm that competitive individual where I'm on the same page with you. I'm gonna smile and laugh and have fun. Am I okay with losing? Nah, I'm not okay with losing. But I know that I'm going to have to take some L's from time to time. That's why when an L comes, I just learn. I learn how to do it better. But when it comes to comparing myself to somebody else, I'm not going to compare myself to somebody else, because the reality is I was born an original, and I refuse to allow myself to die as a carbon copy. And I challenge you to do the same thing. You were born an original. It would be a crying shame for you to die a carbon copy, because the carbon copy loses all of its value. The original is what leaves the legacy. The original is what leaves the footprint. The original is what leaves the stamp. And I'm telling you what I know, y'all. You have everything that you need on the inside of you. You have everything that it's going to take to get you to that next level. And I just want to celebrate you. I want you to know that you are loved. You are absolutely loved. I want you to know that you are amazing. I want you to know that greatness, it's standing outside your front door. All you gotta do is open the door and walk right into it. And the reason I say it's standing outside your front door is because nobody ever got great sitting in the house doing nothing. You're gonna have to get up off your butt and go do something. Get out there and make it happen. I do want to say thank you so much to those of you who have donated to go do something. It helps. Those of you who have purchased books, those of you who have purchased apparel from jarvishenderson.com, thank you so much, because it keeps this stuff going. It helps me impact and reach lives. I'm telling y'all, this stuff, it's all beneficial. It's all beneficial. Every single thing is beneficial. Now, with the last 10 minutes or so, I know that I've read bits and pieces of the book, Dear Fear Men, and I read my letter to fear, and this is the book, and it is I'm a co-author in this, and I also read portions of my personal story that's in here, and I wanted to pick out something and just read it for a moment, because I really want you guys to know where my heart is concerning you, and why I feel like this is a great book for you to have. Now, I do have an ebook that's going to be coming out very soon, and I'll give that to you before it comes out. But I want to read this to you, and I want to share with you where I come from. So I'm going to pick up, let me see. Yeah, I'm going to pick it up right here, and I'm going to read it. So just listen close, because this is words from me that they're already out there. And you can get this book at jarvishenderson.com. It is the Dear Fear Men book. As a matter of fact, for those of you who are over here on YouTube and Facebook, I am putting it up on the screen. Let me see, right here. I'll tell you how to get it. Boom, there you go. But yeah, you can go to jarvishenderson.com and get that today. So I'm gonna pick this up. It says, there are so many things that I want to share with you about my life that I believe will help you along your own path. Like the time that I had guns drawn on me by one of the local gangs because I was wearing the wrong colors, or the times that I had to go into crack houses to get family members out. I wish I could go through and let you know about all of the sexual abuse and the scars that it left. I would love to tell you about all of the things that I experienced in life, from male role models walking out of my life to my wife doing the same. There is so much that contributed to making me the man that I am today, and I wish I could share all of it with you in just one simple chapter. These few stories that I was able to share with you carry more weight than you could ever imagine. Sexual abuse, racism, and violence are just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more: homelessness, poverty, abandonment, and a few other things that can be added to the list as well. But again, that will go into my book. However, I do want you to know that all of the things that I was able to talk about contributed to me being held captive by fear for many years. I would have moments of freedom when reminded by my grandmother to keep my eyes on the prize. I would gain even more confidence and more moments of freedom when reminded by my mother that I was destined for greatness. The crazy thing is that throughout my life, fear was able to stick around because I was convinced that it was my friend and I needed it. I believed that it was my fear of certain things that kept me safe, but it wasn't. Fear was the reason I didn't achieve certain things. This is how I see fear now. Fear is a liar. Fear is an inhibitor. Fear is a crutch. Fear is a roadblock. Fear is a master that will not allow you to be who you are called to be or do what you are called to do. Fear is false future evidence appearing to be real. Here, maybe this will help you remember it. F, false future. E, evidence. A, appearing to be. R, real. We all have been given an amazing tool to help us move forward in our lives with confidence. The tool that I'm referring to is the canvas of our imaginations. On the canvas of your imagination, you can paint the picture of whatever it is that you want to live and go get. Have you ever heard the phrase, if you can see it, then you can achieve it? Well, that's what that means. You see it on the canvas of your imagination? You don't believe me? Take a moment and think about your dream vacation. Envision the first class flight and the 5-star resort accommodations. See the surroundings and how relaxed you are. See yourself there with that one special person that makes your world spin. I'm not even there with you, but I know you were able to enjoy that just for a moment. And you didn't even leave your spot. Now, that was you painting it on the canvas of your imagination. Well, there are only two things that I know of that operate like that. They are faith and fear. What does it take? Or I'm sorry, what fear does is takes the possibilities of what the future could look like and cause you to begin to fear. It takes the false evidence of your future and paints that picture for you. For me, as a black man, when the police get behind me on the road, my first reaction is that my heart rate speeds up. Why? Because in my mind, I'm immediately reminded of all of the injustices that have happened to black men over the years, and the next person to receive those injustices could very well be me. The evidence is false. The police officer behind me could be headed home or going to lunch, or maybe he just likes my car. Either way, my mind is painting a picture of the possibilities. I dare you to start taking control of the canvas of your imagination. See, the same way that fear can paint a picture on the canvas of your imagination, so can faith. Faith is the popular opposite. I'm sorry, faith is the polar opposite of fear. Where fear says no, faith says yes. Where fear says you can't, faith says that you can. Where fear says you're not good enough or smart enough, faith says that you are more than enough. Do you see how this works? In my life, I have lived governed by fear for a long time. It was like having a raincoat that didn't keep me dry. Fear got me into trouble and held me hostage. Then I found out about faith. Faith liberated me and showed me better possibilities. I learned that I could control the level of fear and faith in my life by controlling what I allowed myself to listen to. See, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. In contrast, fear comes by hearing, and hearing by the word that contradicts God's word. For those who may not believe in God, look at it like this. Faith comes by hearing constant good news. Fear comes by hearing constant bad news. Simple, right? A perfect example is how the world reacted to the constant news of the COVID-19 virus. So, my final challenge to you is this. Sit down and write a letter to fear. Let fear know that you refuse to be held captive any longer. I am no longer a slave to fear. This doesn't mean that I am no longer challenged with it, because I am. What this means is that I now know how to fight fear with love and faith so that it can never hold me hostage again. I believe in you and can't wait to see you walk into your freedom. As for me, dear fear, you can't have my destiny because I am destined for greatness. You tried to stop me. You tried to break me. You tried to tear me down. But guess what? I'm still standing. Since I'm still standing, that means I can still walk. And since I can still walk, I'm running into my destiny. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I really hope that you take the time to go out and purchase the book. Man, I gotta get that. I gotta get this to you. So, okay. So I'm seeing some of the. Wow, I'm so sorry, Cynthia, the real Cynthia. Cynthia, I would love for you to hit me up. And I really hate that you feel that way. There's I'm gonna go back over here and talk about it really quick, but I saw a comment that popped up over here on YouTube, and Cynthia says, "Nah, there's no greatness in life, just disappointment." And then Bree responded, "Sorry you feel that way, but this is a positivity zone. We'll say a prayer for it." Okay, yeah, definitely pray for it. But I will let you know there definitely is greatness. And where there's greatness, yes, you're going to run into disappointment, because disappointment is there to try to distract you from greatness. Wherever there's good, there's always going to be bad to try to distract you from the good. Whenever there's healthy food, there's always going to be unhealthy food to try to distract you from what's healthy for you. And Cynthia, I really, my prayer goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. As a matter of fact, I would love to connect with you and just kind of talk it out and chop it up with you and just kind of see where you're at. I'm at the end of where we are right now. But I would love to just take the opportunity to dive in with you a little bit deeper, because the reality is, yes, this is a positivity zone, but I accept how you feel. And I excuse me, I hate that there have been things that have happened in your life to cause you to feel like there is no greatness out there. That is just disappointment. We have all ran into disappointment in our life. That's a part of being human beings. I run into disappointment at least once a week, but that disappointment does not hold me back. It doesn't keep me still, because I know that there's something greater that's out there for me. And I believe that there's something greater that's out there for you as well, Cynthia. So if you would like to, definitely holla at your boy, hit me up. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, Cynthia, you hit me up on go to 386. Let me put it back up here for you. Go to 386-200-1394. And what I'm going to do, Cynthia, you text me, get connected with me, let me know that it's you. You have to put it in there, and I'm going to get your information, and I am going to send you one of the books so that you can read it. I'm also going to set up some time to just talk with you if that's what you would like to do. And that'll all be free of charge. It'll all be coming to you, because I want to make sure that we set up. I want to make sure that I don't just see your comment and run away from it, because that is not who I am. I want to see your comment, and I want to embrace it, and I want to embrace you, because the way that you feel and the thoughts that you have are real. All right. And that's for anybody else that's out there. Go ahead and hit up jarvishenderson.com. Hit that jump consultation call. Let's have a talk. Let's chop it up. Let's talk about it. Let's make sure that we can get people to the next level. So something that I have different tonight that I haven't done before is that I actually have an exit video. Yes. Yeah. You can put your hands together for the exit video, because it was much needed. Yes. And in that exit video, it's an excerpt from I'm Built to Last. And I want to play that for you, because we're about to get out. But before we do, I want you to know that, like I said, I love y'all, man. Absolutely love you. And I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. And if tonight's talk was beneficial to you, if you got something from it, please show love. Go to jarvishenderson.com. Get you a piece of merchandise. Get you a Go Do Something shirt. Get you the book. Get something. Support. And that support keeps us going. And so I embrace you. I love you. And I'm praying for you, Cynthia. I'm sending a very special prayer out for you as well. Bree, thank you so much. I'm sending prayers your way as well. And if there's anybody else out there, you're like, hey, I just need, hey, we on the platform. I'm here for you. So holla at your boy, everybody. It's been real. And I'm about to get up out of here, but I ain't just going to dip on you. I will tell you this. I'll be back tomorrow evening. You have a great night. And holla at your boy. Like those of you who are in my impact community, let me know. I tried to, I'm checking the man bun system right now. You know what I'm saying? Checking it out. And my hair's still kind of wet, so washed it and pulled it back. But somebody asked me the other day, did I cut my hair? No, I didn't. But it's, if you wanted to know what I look like when I have my hair short, boom, there we go. Just got it back in that bun. All right. So I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. Wisdom app. I'm not going to get off with you until after this, after the exit video plays as well. So you guys feel free to communicate through, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.
What are your dreams? What's been stopping you from your dreams? I'll tell you, it's been yourself. So look yourself in the eye and say, you can't stop me. Now tell yourself, I was built for this. No, tell yourself, I was built for this. I was made to last. This is what I was meant for. Now what I want you to do is I want you to quit sleeping and dreaming. See, my great-grandma told me this. She said, nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. And if you sit there and that dream just sits there, it's going to spoil. So you need to get up and get out there and make something happen. If you ever wondered if you had it on the inside of you, I'm telling you now, greatness is there. It's been waiting for you since day one. Open the door, let greatness in, grab her by the hand, and go get your destiny. You were not built to be a failure. You were built to last. Now get out there and go do something.